바람이 불어온 그 밤에 꺼진했던 조각들이 난 떠올라 순간에 falling down.
Welcome to this channel. Hope you all are doing well. Today we will discuss a new topic, the development of fundamental rights. Before knowing about the origin and development of fundamental rights, we need to understand in the simple way what is fundamental right. Fundamental rights in the layman understanding are those basic rights which one must possess to have a free and a dignified life, such as freedom of speech and expression, freedom of trade and business, freedom of religion, and others. In every free state, these are the basic criteria which a citizen demands from the state authority. These basic rights are inseparable. If there is absence of the fundamental rights, the people of the country will convert into slave in place of citizen. In this modern free democratic setup, these fundamental rights are given to the citizen. One of the important facts is that if the fundamental rights are not provided, then the objective of the state, that is to develop from inward and outward, will be defeated. So, the essence of the fundamental right is not only important from the individual perspective, but also from the point of view of the state. The country which provide more liberty in form of fundamental rights develop more than the others. Most of the fundamental rights is in natural law. The question here, when the fundamental right was first recognized, is still untraceable. But fundamental right was first documented in form of liberties was in England in 1215 during the time of King John in the name of Great Charter, Magna Carta. Liberties that has inspired the birth of fundamental rights in England in 1689 after the Glorious Revolution in the name of Bill of Rights. Englishmen were given the rights under law for individual freedoms from the whims of the monarchy. Bill of Rights 1689 not only conferred the individual fundamental rights but also the political and religious rights, which was further accelerated by the passing of the English Triennial Act 1694 and Settlement Act of 1701. The Great Charter, Magna Carta, is the inspirational force of the modern fundamental rights around the globe. Magna Carta not only been restricted in the seashore of England, but the wave have touched the core of the American thought of liberties in 1791 in the Bill of Rights after the passing of the magnificent piece of document, American Constitution. The debate among the Federalists and Anti-Federalists has been concluded with the acceptance of the Bill of Rights in America on 15th of December 1791 with 10 amendments containing and conferring the fundamental rights to its citizens. Thomas Jefferson brought the inspiration by lending it from the Great Charter. He asserted a Bill of Rights is what the people are entitled to against every government on earth, general or particular, and what no just government should refuse, and the Bill of Rights in America was drafted by James Madison. The discussion of fundamental rights in America will be incomplete if we do not take the name of the Martin Luther King Jr. The name is equated with right to equality. The great speech which the world remember even today, I Have a Dream, on 28th of August 1963 at Lincoln Memorial, Washington, D.C., has startled the civil rights movement. This speech he spoke lightly. I have a dream that one day right there in Alabama, little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. 2. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at a table of brotherhood. 3. I have a dream that our 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin but by the content of their character. 4. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold this truth of self-evident that all men are created equal. 5. We refuse to believe that the Bank of Justice is bankrupt. Let us now come back to Europe again in the days of French Revolution during 1789. The fundamental rights in France is the outcome of the French Revolution, and a document came out of the National Constituent Assembly in the name of Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen. Originally, the document was drafted by Marquis de Lafayette, but it was finally drafted by Abbé Sieyès. Thomas Jefferson was consulted by de Lafayette before the drafting, as already the U.S. Declaration of Independence was drafted on 4th of July 1776. The National Constituent Assembly finally adopted the draft on 26th of August 1789. The concept behind the declaration was guided by the philosophical and political thoughts of Rousseau and Baron de Montesquieu. Last century, after the Second World War, the question of protecting of the human right was the pivotal question in front of the mankind. UN was newly formed. In 1946, the resolution was taken by the General Assembly to frame the human right as of the bitter consequence of the Second World War. The General Assembly on 10th of December 1948 adopted Universal Declaration of Human Rights. It was decided by the UN that all the member states will follow and adhere the article of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. UDHA containing 30 articles covering from the civil, socio-political to the cultural aspect of rights under the different blocks. It means that the member state will not only follow the articles of the UDHR in the international level, but also at the same time at the municipal level, that is, both internally and externally, in functioning of the state. In short, the UDHR had put an obligation on the state to abide the articles for the sake of the human rights to the remote corner where the human is dwelling. During the British rule in India, the society in India was demanding the self-government and influenced by the Bill of Rights in England and of US. In 1895, during the British rule in India, the demand for the fundamental rights came through the Constitution of India Bill, better known as Swaraj Bill of 1895. Thereafter, many attempts were made to obtain the fundamental rights for the Indian people from the British ruler. The Rowlatt Act of 1919 causes the serious eruption among the people and formed a non-violent civil disobedience. In 1927, the draft of the Swaraj Constitution was adopted in the Madras session of the Indian National Congress. In 1928, the Motilal Nehru report demanded inseparable and inalienable fundamental rights, and the said report was struck down by the Simon Commission. In 1931 and 1936, Indian National Congress took resolution to defend the fundamental rights headed by Panditji. India got independence on 15th of August 1947. A committee was appointed to draft the fundamental rights under the chairmanship of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel on 24th of January 1947. Already, Sapru Committee report on fundamental rights was in the domain since 1945. After the independence, the Constituent Assembly was formed, which further appointed a committee to develop the draft constitution under Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Already on 10th of December 1948, UN had adopted the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which is to be followed by all nation states. India, being the founding member, inserted the fundamental rights in its first draft 1948, second draft 17th October 1948, and in the final draft on 26th of November 1949, and finally on 26th of January 1950, when the glorious Constitution came into light, the fundamental rights was placed at the part 3 from Article 14 to 35. There are 6 fundamental rights in Indian Constitution. 1. Right to equality, Article 14 to 18. 2. Right to freedom, Article 19 to 22. 3. Right against exploitation, Article 23 and 24. 4. Freedom of religion, Article 25 to 28. 5. Cultural and educational rights, Article 29 and 30. And 6. Right to constitutional remedies, Article 31 to 35. Landmark cases. There are a number of landmark cases on fundamental rights in India, but all cannot be said here. The chosen 5 are: 1. A.K. Gopalan versus the State of Madras, 1950. This was the first case on fundamental rights. 2. Keshavananda Bharati versus the State of Kerala, 1973. 3. Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India, 1975. 4. S.R. Bommai versus Union of India, 1994. 5. Justice K.S. Puttaswamy versus Union of India, 2017.